Hi, I'm August Grossman,
I'm Cecile Zales.
And I'm Noah West.
and we are the SFS Dry Season students of 2023.
As dry season students, our research interest centers around natural phenomena and issues that tropical North Queensland faces during the dry season.
Fire is simultaneously a necessary ecological phenomena for savanna ecosystems, as well as a threat to the lives of people living in fire-prone ecosystems.
However, the way fire functions is very specific to its landscape.
Indigenous people living in Australia practice fire stick farming, which burns grasses early in the dry season in savanna ecosystems in order to prevent large-scale fires. While this fire management in savanna ecosystems is an effective tool for making savanna livable, European colonization was hugely detrimental to the ability of Indigenous people to continue performing cultural practices. Because of this reduction in fire management practice and introduction of non-native species, fire in savanna has become increasingly detrimental to people living in these ecosystems. Today, fire management has become increasingly more common as a cultural practice and a safety preventative measure for people living in fire-prone areas. Determining the level of flammability of an ecosystem, both at a community level and at a species level, are important for understanding the ways in which fire management can be done most effectively. Our directed research project tests savanna flammability compared to gallery forest flammability. Savanna ecosystems are characterized by dispersed woody vegetation and a grassy understory. Gallery forests grow next to rivers within these tropical savanna ecosystems. Gallery forests in savanna can be differentiated by canopy cover, shade-tolerant and intolerant species, and ground cover, where savanna has less dense canopy cover, more shade-intolerant plant species, and more grass cover. We're interested in examining the level of flammability in savanna plants, as well as their community flammability. We're interested in doing the same for gallery forests, which are situated within the savannas we're examining. Our prediction is that gallery forests will be less flammable than savanna ecosystems, given they have greater water access and they have more water content within their plants.
For our research, we defined flammability with a combination of burn time, maximum temperature, and burn biomass. Samples were collected from Davies Creek and Chilago. The samples were allowed to dry overnight before being burned. Max temperature, flame height, and estimated percent burn of each sample were recorded during the burning being done. The plants we burned ranged from extremely flammable plants that reached over 1,000 degrees Celsius, over 2-meter high flames, to plants that were inflammable and never lit on fire. We also determined the level of flammability of the entire community. We did this by taking the diameter of the trees in the field that were larger than 1 centimeter that we were identifying and collecting. Then we took their individual species flammability and averaged the flammability measurements of each location and split them according to community type.
Gallery forest had significantly lower flammability than savanna forest. During our statistical analysis, we found that gallery forest and savanna forest did not have significantly different burn times. However, we did find that savanna was significantly higher for maximum temperature and burnt biomass than the gallery forest communities.
Between the 10 transects each at Davies Creek and Chilago, we collected samples from 209 individuals corresponding to 51 different species. We found that overall, gallery forest as a community is less flammable than savanna communities. We found similar results when looking at the species level flammability across the two ecosystems. We found that on a species level, fuel moisture content and leaf dry matter content are reliable predictors of the species' burnt biomass.
Aside from this, gallery forest and savanna species did not vary in flammability. One reason why we think there could have been higher maximum temperatures present in the savanna species, specifically in Chilago, could be the presence of volatile oil compounds found in the leaves of most eucalypt species, which were much more prevalent in Chilago compared to Davies Creek and both of the gallery forests. Additionally, some of these trees need to be able to burn at higher temperatures in order to ensure germination of their seeds, many of which are called serotinous because they cannot germinate until after they've been exposed to fire.
With changing climate, like bushfires become increasingly more frequent. This shift in flammability for the ecosystem has a big impact in people living near these areas, especially because it's a threat for their lives and also for the houses and everything. So this is very detrimental fire.
So, understanding the nuances of flammability in each landscape will enable us to better predict how bushfires will behave. And understanding the factors that influence flammability will allow us to better inform the public on how fire behaves.
Our results tell us that savanna is more flammable than gallery forest according to maximum temperature and burnt biomass at a community level. This can be attributed to gallery flora's consistent access to water, as well as increased canopy cover when compared to the spread canopy cover and low rainfall of a savanna. When attempting to reduce fire risk around personal property, reduction of species with low fuel moisture content and high leaf dry matter content are useful management strategies. As for conservation effort, monitoring invasive species which have low fuel moisture content and high leaf dry matter content are important preventative measures for protecting native species adapted to specific fire regimes.